Hi, I'm John. Nice to meet you. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Hi, nice to meet you. If you could, can you explain what your internship was like last summer? Also, what sector of the industry did you work in?
So, my internship last summer, I was with a general contractor up in Chicago. We were building a $40 million multifamily apartment complex. Things I did like day to day, I was doing a whole bunch of punch list items, just managing subcontractors, scheduling them, helping with that. We were doing 2 week look aheads, and we were just like scheduling them to make sure they knew what they were doing and to stay out of each other's way. We did fire pump testing, and we did all the smoke alarms and fire alarms and stuff like that. I was doing RFIs, submittals, the regular stuff that PEs do. I would do the orientation every day when new people would come in and work for us. I'd take them through the entire safety video, explain to them everything that was expected of them, and just to get home safe at the end of the day. And I would take meeting minutes for the OAC meetings. And so I learned some new skills using OneNote and everything. Some of the softwares I used day to day was Bluebeam and Excel, Microsoft Word, just all the Microsoft Office ones, stuff like that. And we used a little bit of Navisworks and like BIM modeling softwares and things like that.
Sounds like you got some great experience. So, what did you like best about your internship?
So I really liked how the company gauged it toward me. It was very individualized. At the beginning, they asked me like what were my goals, where I wanted to be in the next couple of years, and they just kind of built the whole internship around my like personal interests, not just one basic internship program. They let me do what I wanted to do, and they helped me. That just helped me learn a lot better. And they offered classes, like scheduling classes, estimating classes. There's this course called PE 101 where they gave you a certain issue, and you had to figure out which sub to talk to, where to track down the problem, and it was just a really interesting experience. And I really liked it because everybody wanted to help me, not just my mentor for the summer, which was also a PE, but I worked pretty closely with the superintendent, assistant superintendent, the project manager, assistant project manager, and so I learned the whole spectrum pretty much.
Good. What did you like least about your experience?
Well, we had to make signage, and it was my responsibility to laminate all the papers, but it's a typical internship thing to do, I guess. But sometimes the work would get a little monotonous, such as punch lists, just going through every floor every day, just looking at small little details, and every floor was the same, so it would kind of get old after a little bit. But also some days the subcontractors wouldn't be in the best of moods, but I understand that's just part of the industry, and I just got to learn to deal with it.
What was the greatest learning moment for you during your internship?
So I took a Bluebeam class over the summer. It was like Bluebeam Intern Day, or it was called something like that. But a bunch of interns from a bunch of different companies met downtown Chicago in this office building, and we all brought our laptops with us. And there were people there instructing us how to use Bluebeam and different things we could use. And they went over quantity takeoff a lot, which was really helpful for me because I could use that quite a bit with the role that I want to be. And it also helped me just be a lot more efficient with Bluebeam in terms of processing RFIs and submittals and things like that, and just basic organization with all the project documents. So that really optimized my ability to use that software.
What did you learn about communication on the job site and how did you apply it?
So I learned that communication, it's the fine line between a good day and a bad day. If you're not communicating with your team or anything, nobody's going to be in a good mood. Everybody's going to be frustrated because nobody knows what anybody's doing. Bad communication means unhappy people, all in all. It also keeps everybody safe because if you have something critical going on, such as critical lift or windows that aren't installed or anything, it'll let people know, like, hey, you have to wear fall protection here, or don't go on the 19th floor because there's hot work going on or there's no windows in yet, stuff like that. But it also helps with the daily schedule and like talking about what's going to be done today, what's going to be done tomorrow, where people need to be, where the materials need to be, and it just helps everything flow a lot more smoothly.
What did you learn about leadership and management, and how did you apply it?
So I learned that anybody can really be a leader, no matter what role you are. We had our general foreman actually. He was really the big leader out on site. Even though he wasn't the highest in rank, he would still crack the whip when he needed to. He would be telling people where to go. He would run the office and manage all the organization of the office and pretty much the whole workflow. And he would help me with like the basic things like orientation, stuff like that. So, and he was another guy who would lead by example other than just telling people what to do. He would always be the first one there, last guy to leave, and he was one of the hardest working guys out there, like hands down. And in terms of management, the management was crucial to the productivity on site. Everything had to be organized, and all the workers needed their own space to keep their tools, stuff like that. It made sure that the materials and people were in the place they needed to be when they needed it, and that helped to be just like on time delivery. So there wasn't a stockpile, but there wasn't too little materials, so it just kept the workflow going.
What did you learn about ethics, and how did you apply it?
So the company that I worked for was humongous on their reputation, and ethics plays a large role in anybody's reputation, really, because one mess up with an ethical issue and people are going to be talking about it for years. If you do something like ethically good, then no one really seems to care, nobody talks about it all. But if one bad thing happens, then everybody's talking about it forever, and you lose clients and you lose all your customers pretty much because they don't want you working on their job. I learned that you should always do the right thing, no matter how hard it can be, or some people may get hurt by it, some people may get helped by it, but in the end you just have to do the right thing because it could fall back on you and it could be a very negative consequence. And during my internship, it really made me think about things before I said them or before I acted on them, because anything I say or do could reflect back on me negatively, whether I knew it or not. So I really just thought to myself before I did anything, or I asked my mentor, hey, is this the right thing to do?
What did you learn about teamwork, and how did you apply it?
So teamwork is the bread and butter of the construction industry. It'll make or break a project for you. There's so many moving pieces on a job site that if the teamwork isn't there, people are going to be running into each other, people are going to be fighting with each other. It's just everybody needs to work together towards one common goal instead of each subcontractor just working towards their own personal goals. One mistake, it's like the reference to the canoe. If one oar is rowing in the opposite direction, it slows the whole boat down, or you start going in circles or whatever. It's just one mistake, it affects everybody. Good teamwork also, it builds good relationships, because if you work good as a team, you'll want to work with them again because you work so well together. So it helps build relationships like that. And I always tried to help people as much as possible over the course of my internship, because the more people working on one thing at one time, it'll ensure better quality and it'll get it done faster in most cases. Like me and my mentor, we both did the punch list instead of just one person doing it. So it sped up the process by 100%. It was 2 times the speed it would normally take. So that's what I learned about teamwork, and it speeds up the job and makes the quality better.